As we've mentioned, daylight savings time starts at 2 a.m. tomorrow, so when our clocks spring ahead, a lot of us will be getting an hour less sleep than usual. And you might be surprised to learn that women may suffer more from that than men. A recent study by Duke University researchers found that in general, women need more sleep than men and tend to wake up in a grumpier mood, too. Now, I should note, Becky came in saying she was tired today. She has not been grumpy at all.
I appreciate that.
Joining us with more on that is Dr. Michael Bruce. He's a sleep expert and the author of the Sleep Doctor's Diet Plan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it true? Are women more affected by a lack of sleep than men?
It appears so. In this particular study, we found that women had more depression, women had more anger, and women had more hostility, as they reported early in the mornings when they weren't getting the same amount of sleep that they normally get. So when they were having problems falling asleep, when they were having problems staying asleep, that seems to have a dramatic effect on them.
Why do we think that is?
Well, I think there's a couple of different reasons, but we don't know 100% for sure. Not only are you emotionally affected, but you're also physiologically affected. Specifically, women are. What we found was that women who didn't get enough sleep had an increase in something called fibrinogen, which is a clotting factor which leads to stroke. We also know that there were certain inflammation markers that were higher. Inflammation leads to pain. I would tell you, women may be in more pain in mornings than men are, and that could absolutely lead to an emotional response.
So it literally does affect their health.
It absolutely affects their health. I mean, it affects their health so much that recently we've seen a whole bunch of different studies to show some very interesting things about sleep deprivation. As a matter of fact, one of them for both men and women was that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night, it affects over 700 genes.
Wow.
Over 700 genes in your body.
And how many genes are in your body?
You have thousands of genes in your body, but that's still a pretty large number when you start to see, because it affects things like stress, like your immunity, inflammation, like we spoke of before. So when you start to look at sleep deprivation, it's not just, oh, I can tough it out, I only got my 5 hours last night, I'm strong, I can make it. It's you are affecting your health. And you need to think about that.
This conversation is getting louder and louder. Ariane Huffington actually did at TED a whole thing about sleeping your way to the top, which was all about getting more sleep. But when you actually look at the problem, part of it is just based off of circumstance. We were talking in the break about strategic napping. So what's that? What should people do? Well,
first of all, Ariana is a wonderful, what I call sleep evangelist. She actually wrote the foreword to my book, and we're quite good friends. It's very interesting to see. But strategic napping can be a big help. So for people who can only get, let's say, 5 or 6 hours a night, but they know they need 7 or 8, being able to take a strategic nap during the day can be helpful. Now, here's the thing. You either want to take a 25-minute nap or a 90-minute nap. Anything in between, and you will wake up and you will feel much worse than you did when you started.
Can you really catch up quickly?
You can catch up, but you have to be careful. You can't catch up completely. So if you lose an hour's worth of sleep every night for 3 weeks, you're not going to make that up, because you can't fool Mother Nature.
All right.
However, you can catch up a little bit.
Dr. Michael Bruce, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.